In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use some of the widgets. So up here in the upper right, you see a little palette, and when you click on this palette, it will open two things, a color board as well as all of these different objects that you can insert into your lesson. If you scroll all the way down to widgets, you can see the clock, the spinner, and the super dice. So all of these are customizable, which is very cool. So I'm going to click on this spinner here. And I'm going to enter some names, and I do that by just typing enter after each choice. Now maybe you want to put like a group name, something like that, right? And underneath that here, I can choose whether the students can spin or just I can spin it, and then I can also choose whether to sync this spinner, which means that anybody can spin it at any time and it will perform that on everybody's board. So let me update this here. You can see, right? So I can even specify the colors. So if I want group 1, if I go back here in my menu, so if I go back here in my menu and I want the red group to be a colored background of blue, and I want the blue group to have a colored background of green, then when I put that comma there, so my red will be blue and my blue will be green. So my red is blue and my blue is green. Right? So you can even customize the colors. Otherwise, you can just keep it completely random and not put anything here at all, and it will customize it for you. So I'm going to spin this here. So I'm going to click spin. Whoops, I accidentally duplicated it, sorry. Alright, so let me click away here. I'm going to click spin. So you notice that I'm spinning this and it landed on group 1, and my student, who's also in the class, can see that I spun it, ended on group 1. Now I say, okay, sample student, it's your turn to spin. And sample student clicks spin, and then everybody in the class can see that it landed on red, right? So I landed on red, and you'll see the teacher board is also landed on red. Right? So you can kind of play synchronously together. If you want students to have the spinner for just themselves, right, then you can untoggle this, and this way if a student is playing a game or something with a partner, they can just spin the spinner here. Oops, I want to go back to the student board. So here's my student board, this purple one. Okay, so student is spinning, and this student landed on group 1, but it didn't affect the teacher's board, right? It doesn't affect anybody else's board. So I really like this spinner. And then obviously as a math teacher, I love these die here. So I'm going to move this over. I'll close my widget screens here. And I'm actually going to have 3 dice. I'm actually going to have 3 dice. So look what I have here, right? That's pretty cool. And I can customize them. Maybe I want them to have some negative numbers as well. -2, -4, maybe even a positive number, number 8, something like that. And I'm going to take off sync so that students can practice by themselves, but that they can roll the die on their own. And as soon as I click roll, it rolls all 3 die. They don't always land on the same thing, so it is random. It is random. And what you could do is you could even add another die. Maybe take away one of these. Maybe make it only 2. Maybe make it only 2 die, and then add a separate widget. Add a separate widget. Whoops, I did that twice by accident. Add a separate widget here, and make this one the die with operations on it. Right? Maybe I make this one have a plus, a minus, a times, and a divide. So I could write that here, or the plus sign, a minus sign, a times sign, and a divide sign. And maybe you want one operation to come up more often than the others, or maybe you just want to do plus and minus, right? And I'm going to take sync student roll off so that students can do that independently. So you say, okay, spin the dice. These are the 2 numbers that you have to use, and this is the operation you have to do. You have to divide these 2 numbers. And that's pretty neat. So mine are on 4 and -2, and the student over here, if they roll their own, student is working on their own, right? And they rolled 8 1/2, you'll notice it doesn't affect anybody else's board. So students can work independently, and maybe you say, oh, okay, you have to spin the dice 6 times, and you write, they can either draw their answer, right? They can either draw their answer or they can type their answer here using the text tool. 8 minus 1/2, and they can, type their answer afterwards. So that's a pretty quick rundown, but that's how you use the widgets. Something else that I think is really cool, since I'm talking about widgets, I'm going to clear this board, is that over here in the wrench tool, you actually can even put musical instruments. So if you want to give your kids something fun to do, maybe put the piano on the screen and let them play with it, or maybe have them put the xylophone on the screen, and each kid can maybe play you a tune or something. I just think it's really cool. All right, so that's it for now.